You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
Welcome to another episode of Cold Fusion TV. What do you think the future will be like? That seems like a childish question immediately after its proposition, but I want you to seriously think about it for a second. What new exciting technologies wait for us just around the corner? What if I told you some of what you thought could only be science fiction existed today? And yes, that thing on the right is an experimental robot. Okay, so we all know that there's technology like Google Glass, which everybody knows about. But what about some of the others? Today, we'll be taking a look at the top 5 technologies that may show a sign of things to come. Let's kick it off with a brand new way of interacting with your computer by Leap Technology.
Number 5.
You may remember some scenes from the 2002 film Minority Report, where Tom Cruise performs gestures in the air to navigate around a computer interface. Well, at the end of 2013, this technology arrived in an affordable package, and they're calling it Leap Motion. So what's Leap Motion all about? Let's hear a bit from the manufacturers themselves.
David Holes, I'm the CTO at Leap Motion. We're making next generation 3D motion sensing device. At some point, it's no longer gestures. It's like you have this object and it's in your hands and you're able to manipulate it in very subtle ways. That's sort of very intuitive in the back of your mind instead of something that you're thinking about like, okay, what drop down menu do I do? How do I engage rotate mode? Okay, let me pivot here and do this thing, and it ends up becoming it's really interesting.
You would think technology like this would cost an arm and a leg, but it's actually available in store for $79.99. That's crazy. On the topic of alternative human-computer interaction, this video would not be complete without mentioning Oculus Rift. Oculus Rift is a virtual reality gaming headset, very similar to the old Nintendo Virtual Boy, released in 1995. Except the Oculus Rift doesn't make your eyes bleed. The Oculus Rift is often cited as one of the best virtual gaming experiences available today.
Number 4.
Okay, so let's change things up a bit with the field of robotics. For years, humans have dreamed of domestic robotic technology to aid our everyday lives. They were the stuff of science fiction, and still largely are, but we've come a long way in recent years. In 2008, Boston Dynamics shocked the world with Big Dog. It was the first time an unassisted robot performed so well in 100% natural conditions. Big Dog was built in 2005 by Boston Dynamics, NASA, and the Harvard University. Thanks to the year 2005, Big Dog's brain was a Pentium 4. The brain of Big Dog senses where its limbs are and corrects the robot's motion thousands of times a second. To give you some context, the Pentium 4 is about 8.4 times slower than a modern-day smartphone. Next from Boston Dynamics came Wildcat, a machine able to run at 30 km per hour. For comparison, the world's fastest human being, Usain Bolt, clocks in at 44.72 km an hour. So 30 km an hour is a pretty decent sprinting speed. Boston Dynamics wasn't done yet. In 2013, they released Atlas, a humanoid robot. And this one is pretty impressive. Here we see it walking upstairs, and you think that should be pretty easy, right? But if you talk to any mechatronics engineer, they'll tell you otherwise. As you can see here, the stairs are the #1 enemy for robots. In late 2013, Google acquired Boston Dynamics. Long gone are the search engine days, people. I really wonder what Google's going to do with all of this technology. So it's not quite iRobot, but it's better than our past attempts, and it'll be pretty cool to see what happens in the next few years.
Number 3.
This next one is straight out of a Hollywood movie. It's a worldwide 100% digital peer-to-peer currency, a new economy that isn't controlled by the government or a central bank. They call it Bitcoin. Bitcoin was created back in 2009, and it's slowly catching on. In 2013, Congress approved the currency, making it a legitimate payment method. Bitcoins can be obtained in two ways, either from your local currency exchanges or by mining, Mining is basically using your computer hardware to solve a very complex equation. Once it's solved, you'll be rewarded with bitcoins. Some people have taken mining to the extreme.
Currently running 85870s and 45850s. This rig here is pulling about 5 gigahashes.
There are some downsides though. Bitcoin economy is highly volatile, and in their lifetime they've gone from just over $4 a coin to over $1,000 a coin. There's also the dark web. Since bitcoins are digital and untraceable, some users have used them to buy illegal goods and services from the dark web. Dark corners of the internet have always existed, but the dark web is something different, and it can only be accessed through Tor technology. Tor was developed by the US Naval Research Laboratory, so there's pretty much no way to track down an IP address. In 2013, the FBI shut down one such dark website, Silk Road, and seized over $28 million worth of Bitcoin. On Reddit, there were stories of people fearing for their lives because they owed people hundreds of thousands of dollars in Bitcoins that they would never get back. There have also been digital robberies, or heists, which have caused some digital chases through many countries in search of the thief. Whether Bitcoins are here to stay, or will eventually subside due to their controversy, is a story for another day. It's all some pretty interesting stuff so far. Anyway, we'll take a break and then we'll be back shortly after this.
Worried about dry skin? Concerned about lines and wrinkles? Then visit a burns unit and get some perspective.
You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
Welcome back. Let's round out the top 5 future technologies that exist today.
Number 2.
There's been a growing trend over the last few years, the trend of 3D printing. The technology behind 3D printing has existed for many years, but that being said, it's only been made available to the public this decade. To explain it simply, 3D printing is a process of making a three-dimensional object of virtually any shape from a digital model.
So you can import a model and it can detect where there are overhangs and generate smart support structures that go up to it. So then when you print it off, the thing comes off on this little pin bed, it kind of looks like, and then you can just snap it off and it feels like you're peeling it off of a piece of Velcro.
3D printing is achieved using an additive process, where successive layers of material are laid down in different shapes. 3D printing can create objects that would be too expensive or impossible to create using conventional methods. Basically, if you can create a model on your computer, you can print it. The applications are almost endless, and this very well may be the next big industry in the 2020s. Before we rush on to number 1, I just want you to take a look at a few 3D printed objects from 3D printers that you can buy right now.
Number 1.
If there's anything that can change the world on a truly global scale, it's Bloom Energy. If everything goes to plan, of course. The story of Bloom Energy and its Bloom Box is actually pretty interesting, and we'll be hearing a bit from its founder, K.R. Schreider. I would seriously say that you should keep an eye on this kind of technology in the future.
What could this power?
This could power a U.S. home. Average United
entire
States
house?
home. Entire house, 24/7, 365.
Something that small?
This is a European home. The two put together is a U.S. home. It is real. It works.
He says he knows it works because he originally invented a similar device for NASA.
We know how to produce oxygen on Mars.
So this was going to produce oxygen so people could actually live on Mars.
Absolutely.
When NASA scrapped that Mars mission, KR had an idea. He reversed his Mars machine. So instead of making oxygen, he pumped oxygen in. He invented a new kind of fuel cell, which is like a very skinny battery that always runs. KR feeds oxygen to it on one side and fuel on the other. The two combine within the cell to create a chemical reaction that produces electricity. No need for burning or combustion. No need for power lines from an outside source. In October 2001, he managed to get a meeting with John Doerr. John Doerr has certainly changed our world. He's the one who discovered and funded Netscape, Amazon, and Google.
The new energy technologies could be the largest economic opportunity of the 21st century.
One disk powers one light bulb. The taller the stack of disks, the more power it generates. How are we supposed to know whether what you're saying is true?
Why didn't we talk to our first customers?
He already has customers. 20 large, well-known companies have quietly bought and are testing Bloom boxes in California.
Anyway, you get the idea. The news report goes on to say that these Bloom boxes were being used by companies such as FedEx and Google. I would have written this off as one of those crazy internet stories with a crazy nutter if you didn't have customers who are such powerful investors. So the number one spot does go to Bloom Energy. It truly could change our world. Now we're pretty much done with the video, but it wouldn't be complete without mentioning the Google driverless car, so that's a bonus entry. The driverless cars have been trundling around since 2012 and have completed 500,000 kilometers or 300,000 miles of driving accident-free. So there you have it, our world is changing very fast, and I sincerely hope that as we move forward, we use all of these technologies only to benefit humanity as a whole. So this has been Cold Fusion, and like a bad drummer, we're completely out of time. Thank you guys so much for watching the whole way through, and don't forget to like and share this video if you found it interesting.
Hey guys, the GoGo Alltrade here, the creator and producer of that video, and of course this channel. So from me, I just want to wish you guys season's greetings and a Merry Christmas. So enjoy your time off, and I'll see you again soon. Have a good one.
Cold Fusion. It's new thinking.